Hey folks, Dude here, coming at you of all things. Thursday, March 31st, last day before you have April Fool's Day. Oh man. Okay, speaking of April Fool's Day, today is going to be one of those things where I'm going to tell those Trump haters, you guys are getting bamboozled by your own stupidity. The cruise bots, call them what you will, but you guys don't have the slightest flipping clue of how the world works outside of the sphere of the DC Beltway. You guys are effing clueless. Of all companies that got bamboozled, screwed over, and almost potentially taken literally to the bank, was, of all things, that toy company, Mattel. Mattel, who does Barbie and all kinds of other stuff. It's this almost $6 billion giant thing that really has fallen apart in hard times in recent memory. By and large, they've had a really, really hard times trying to stay competitive with all kinds of newer technologies, so pretty much electronics based versus like little kids going, oh, here's the cool toy, I want to play with it. Now, Barbie's taking it, well, literally in the teeth. Of all those things that pretty much is going on and ongoing, well, let's just say Mattel hasn't had a good decade. So, of all things that have happened to them, they really did not need to have happen $3 million theft. Now, literally what happened was, one of their executives, let me go over here to the article real quick so take a look here. The CEO, Christopher Sinclair, had only been in there for about a month. Mattel had literally fired the guy who was previously there. So the finance executive got a note. She was naturally eager to please the new guy and double-check protocol. Fund transfers required approval from two high-ranking managers. She qualified, and so did the CEO, according to the person familiar with the investigation. Spoke in a condition of anonymity because he's not authorized to speak about the matter. Declined to reveal the financial executive's name. So anyway, what happened was they sent the money, $3 million, to the Bank of Wenzhou. I guess would be Wenzhou. So it'd be Wenzhou in China. A couple hours later, she mentioned it to Sinclair. Sinclair was like, what? I didn't ask for $3 million to get sent to China. What's going on here? So essentially what happened was they called the U.S. bank, the police, and the FBI. And the response was, you're screwed. The money is already in China. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go deep into the article here and let you guys, I'm going to throw the link. It's actually from CBC, so it gets to be like their Canadian Broadcasting.ca. So literally what it is, it's the Canadian, NBC, CBS, ABC, call it what you will. So Mattel's millions were swept up at the tide of dirty money that passes through China and that Western police are only beginning to understand. The scam that the company fell victim to is known as the fake CEO or fake president scam. Has cost companies, many of them American, get this, $1.8 billion USD, US dollars. According to the FBI, most of the stolen money passes through banks of China or Hong Kong. China is emerging as a global hub for money laundering. The dark money, of course, through China has long been considered a domestic issue, with the Chinese illicitly moving money for other Chinese. But that's no longer the case. Mounting evidence indicates that China is becoming a global banker for the criminal economy, according to interviews with police officials, court records in the U.S. and Europe, and intelligence documents reviewed by the Associated Press. So, here's another thing that Trump is right about. When these guys play dirty, and they do play dirty, the Chinese could not make a working jet engine 20 years ago that actually worked half decent. The only reason why they got jet engines to work now, stolen technology from the U.S. They didn't have drone technology, stolen technology from the U.S. They didn't have XYZ, stolen technology from the U.S. The Chinese are not our friends. And by and large, we tend to think along the lines like the next president or the next budget or something along those lines. China thinks along the lines of thousands of years. They do not think long term. No, they think extremely long term. And this kind of way of screwing over everybody to get as much money as possible is not by accident. So literally, Mattel has opened things. They've really spent tons and tons and tons and scads of cash in China to get products and bring them back to the United States. What did we get in return? Well, we had stuff that had to go back, mostly because, well, let's see. What did they do to us? Well, they sent us stuff covered in lead-based paint. They sent stuff covered to us in hazardous magnets. All kinds of toys that you cannot sell on the U.S. market, they sent to us knowing, well, nobody's going to really catch it until it's way too late. We just got paid. The Chinese, when they do anything, it is usually on 3 levels. 1, okay, we're going to do it exactly as stated. 2, we're going to do it exactly as stated unless you're not watching. Number 3, we're going to try to slam, scam, and just any way around possible. Hell bent for leather, take you for your cash, run away with it. Of all people, Apple has been screwed by the Chinese means of doing half-assedry, and literally they had to stomp on them with both boots saying, guys, no, we spent a lot of money with you, we employ a lot of people of yours, and you're screwing us. Not cool. So essentially what it was is basically, going back to the story, Mattel got screwed. Well, only problem was, the thieves did not look at a calendar. Because the money hit them the next day, literally was Friday, May 1st, which was Labor Day in China. So that gave Mattel time. The company notified the Chinese authorities, who quickly launched a criminal investigation, according to a letter from Mattel thanking the Chinese authorities, which was obtained by AP, Associated Press. The Bank of Wenzhou opened the following Monday. A China-based anti-fraud executive from Mattel strode past the sculpted lines that flanked the entrance to the bank's headquarters, marched upstairs to the International Business Department, and presented a letter from the FBI, according to 2 people familiar with the investigation, who are not authorized to speak publicly. The Chinese police froze the account that very morning. 2 days later, May 6th, Mattel got its money back. So literally, Mattel relied upon the cops doing their job, simply because the cops were like, oh crap, if we screw the pooch on this one, man, the international press alone is going to make us look like total dumbasses. We got to stop this. It's a holiday. The crooks were stupid. They didn't do it right. Now, here's the thing that's mostly you got to worry about the Chinese. They are not straight shooters. They will screw you over any chance possible. And if it goes and works for the Communist Party, which is pretty much how everybody has to deal with, that's what they're going to do. But here's the extra dirty little secret behind the scenes. People always try to screw us and the Communist Party. Why? Because that's money that nobody needs to know about, and with a couple of billion people, there's no way in the flipping world the Chinese government can know about every single deal happening in a back alley, around the corner, on the internet, and all over the flipping place. That is just not going to happen easily. So, by and large, when Trump says we need to basically stomp on China with both feet and put tariffs in place, yes, there's a very good reason for him to state that. He knows the Chinese. I'm going to bring up on this one, folks. Not to diss the Chinese people by themselves, but their business practices flat out suck. The Chinese government only stepped up in this one because they knew that it was going to look horrible. They would lose face if they had $3 million of American money being scammed from one of their biggest customers for labor and manufacture. That would not work out good. I'm going to bring up on this one, folks. Eat good, keep centering, and always, remember, if you're dealing with the Chinese, there's only one way to make sure the stuff is good, and that's to verify it by looking at it on its face. Ooh, bad times. See you guys.